Oh, my baby. Y'all took my baby from me. God gave it to me for 29 years. And you just ended my baby's life like that. That's not right. Who do you to take somebody's life? You not God. Why would you take my baby's life? It hurts so bad. I want my baby.
Hey y'all. Y'all know, oh, I'm clicking the wrong damn. Okay, here we go.
Let's talk about real life issues, love and relationships. Let's have a good time with the missus, yeah. Celebrities. Let's talk about current events. Let's talk about things you don't see on regular TV. So join in on PG Time. PG Time. Tune in on PG Time. PG Time. Come join us on PG Time. PG Time. Join us on PG Time. PG Time. Yeah.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Quizzy Quote. I'm out here chilling. You're now tuned into Peachy Time with. What up, y'all? It's your boy Quizzy Quote, chilling like a villain, still killing, still stealing. And you're now tuned into Peachy Time with the missus on the hits 92.3.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? It's your girl, the missus with the kisses. Mwah. Hi, everybody. What is going on? I left my phone. Maybe my husband will hear me and will bring me my phone, please, just in case he was listening. But I hope everybody is doing well. Everybody is in the building. I got a show for y'all today. I have a guest peach, baby. Her name is Miss Madonna Marie, and she will be joining us today. I'm super, super excited to have her here. I met her at Hits 92.3. Y'all see it? Oh, on this side. Right there. His 92.3. The real definition of internet radio, baby. But that's where I met her at. She is a beautiful, beautiful young lady. And I found a picture of her, y'all. I was like, Madonna. Y'all want to see what she look like? The picture I saw. Y'all want to see? Here you go. I'm going to show it. And then I'm going to bring her up right behind the baby. Here she is. There she go. Miss Madonna Marie in the building. Hey.
Look, on his 92.3, I was in the backstage going, the real definition of internet radio. Ow.
Yes. That was y'all signature.
It was. Yes.
Yes. And you are so missed. You really are.
Oh, we miss you guys too. Like me and all 12 of my personalities. It's okay though.
It's all good.
I still see you guys doing all of, the great things it hits. And I've actually been back up there to be on somebody else's show. So I was just like, that's why in my head I was like, oh yeah, I'll be at the station at that time because they also had a night show at the station when I went.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Madonna, I am so glad to have you here with me tonight on Peachy Time, Once Upon a Time with the Missus.
Yes.
And, you are aware that on my shows, I do talk about crime a lot and what's going on all around the world. And I basically just bring to the forefront and give my opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so glad that you're here to co-host with me on this.
Yes, I'm excited.
Yeah, but tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Why are you here? Why did I choose you? Because you got to be doing something. Each person that comes on here, they're doing something. So
I was gonna say I don't have the answer for why she chose me, y'all. She asked me, I was like, sure.
Yes, you got something good going on that I was excited about. I wanted to hear more about it, and I would love for my Peachies and Mr. Peachsters to hear just as well.
Okay, well, my name is Madonna, and Marie is my second name. So Madonna Marie is what I go by. And I like to keep myself under the house of consulting because I consult in people's lives. And then I also consult in their businesses. So outside of within the realm of lifestyle consulting, I do things that are on the spiritual path. So anything from personal growth and self development. Personal growth and self development, that's a professional term, but that's more so along the lines of helping people to become the best versions of themselves. So whether that is doing away with their generational curses, the things that they're fighting through,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's, I don't know, they may not have had any type of major trauma, but whatever it is that's a hindrance, they just can't get past. And they have, like, I'm that resort before you get to therapy. You don't necessarily need therapy. I know that there are some people who do need therapy. You don't necessarily need therapy if you have the guidance or the leveling that you would need to be able to look at yourself, go within yourself, and start to work with yourself. Normally, when you get to therapy, it's because things have gotten out of control. So I'm that little gray area before things get out of control. How we tie it into business, well, your lifestyle tends to affect your business. Everybody has emotions, everybody has feelings, and if those things are unbalanced, then your business isn't necessarily balanced, or it's not being as fruitful as you would like for it to be, because you're trying to balance whatever it is you have going on at home,
Mm-hmm.
whatever toxic people you have over in this corner that you consider friends or not friends, and then you may or may not have children, and then now you're trying to run a business and work a day job. So I try
That's
to come in the middle of both and try to show you how to balance the both. And I'm that person that most people, because you don't really have a lot of people out here who have people in their corner, so I'm the person in the corner that's cheering you on through those things, giving you the hard truths that you may need that no one else probably has ever told you. You know what I mean? The things that you need to hear as opposed to what you want to hear.
mm-hmm.
And then I meet people where they are and then try to get them to a better space, whatever that better space may look like for them.
Now, would
Um,
you consider yourself a life coach?
um, I call it consulting. I mean, coaching comes in the realm of consulting. Some people just do coaching and they don't consult. I can't do any of it at all if I'm not intertwined 100% in that way. So I will not be able to be 100% a good coach if I don't consult with you, if I don't talk with you damn near every day, if not all day, every day, to see where you are mentally, spiritually, physically, how are those things affecting you, and then trying to help you see one, either the bigger picture or the details. So the bigger picture is where you're going, but the details are what's keeping you from getting to that bigger picture. So I
Oh,
can't coach you if I can't consult. And then I can't consult if I can't coach, because then the consultant becomes dead if I can't coach you through the things that you need coaching on. I hope that made sense. Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense. Now,
So,
is that two different prices for
nope. Nope.
consulting and coaching?
It's all no, it's all actually encumbered in one. That's why I say I'm both. And then when you see me out here, doing the work that I'm doing, that falls under coaching and consulting, because even down to, like, when you see me doing farming, there are a lot of people in our community who don't believe that they can grow anything. They
Mhm.
just don't believe that they can grow anything, but it comes natural to us. So there's the consulting. I see where you're at and I try to figure out what are the reasons why you think you can't do X, Y, and Z. And then I help you to overcome those mental blocks. And then I coach you so that you can be able to produce food for you and your family. And then you can make better choices with food, your living arrangements, whatever that bursts from there, because there's so many other things that just come out of being able to produce your own food out of the ground.
Now,
So,
that's what I want to talk about when we come back.
okay.
Because it's probably gonna be some people that's like, "What? We finna start making our own food now?" So I want you to elaborate more
Yeah.
on that. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
here we go, y'all. Don't forget everything tonight. Not what Madonna is saying about her, what she got going on, but everything is allegedly
Yeah. Yeah.
and explicit language.
Yes.
So we finna go ahead and get started with our talent for the night. Shout out to D Gord. Y'all can find him on all platforms. And here we go.
I could do this for hours, and
Seconds turn to minutes. Minutes turn to hours. Hours turn into days now. Can't live a life without you. It's getting hard for me to hold back these feelings. I'm a hard-headed nigga scared to pull the trigger. Tell you that I fuck with you. Don't want nobody else but you. Better let a woman in my life, but something about your vibe just keeps me wanting more. You say that you're scared of love, and I'm like, shit, me too. But I'm falling for you every girl, I'm ready for love. So it's you, girl, sound so dumb. I don't wanna be nowhere else. I'd rather do nothing with you for hours. Fucking on these hoes, still feeling on it. Let a nigga set the mood. We could text in my room and wrap your legs around my neck like a choker. Finger all up in your while I stroke. You said I could do this for hours and hours and hours. I could do this for hours and hours and hours. It's on you for hours and I'm on you for hours.
I could do this for hours and hours.
Yes.
Yes.
D-Lord is definitely eye candy. Now, I think he got a little messed up eye. One of his eyes is messed up. I noticed by looking at this video over and over and over again. But he is definitely eye candy. Labara, yes. Labara.
Yes.
But tell us about this farm.
Okay. So with the farming, I operate on both sides of the fence. So first things you saw me post about was when we were doing the farming business setup workshops. And what that is there are a lot of people who either are homestead farmers, they are family farmers. Family farmers are the ones that produce food for their family because either one, it was more inexpensive, or they had a large family that they needed to feed. And then now that all of those kids are out of the home, we're giving them a different perspective because we have so many different things that are going on that are affecting how people work. Farmers, we don't have enough of them. We don't have enough on a inner city level, and we don't have enough even on a federal level as far as the farmers that we would need to produce the food that our people demand. We don't have enough supply. That's why we import so much. So with the farming business setup workshops, we show people how to take the farm that they either already have or land that they already have and turn it over into an actual producing farm where they can take they're regulated, by the Department of Agriculture. They can take their produce and they can sell it at a farmer's market. They can sell it to the communities through the community CSAs that normally farmers produce for,
Okay.
and all the different ways that they would sell their food. And then also with farmers, they're able to create products. So they can create home baked breads, they can create scratch made cookies, vegan products, vegetarian food, prepared meals, those types of things. So it puts them in another space where they can now create jobs for the people who would need jobs. And then they can also sustain their family both from their hands and then by creating a way to make money because
Yeah.
people are going to need food. And then with the same farm that they've now set up as a business, they can actually accept food stamps, and people who need to buy better options on food, they can do away with the canned food and they can now come and buy fresh produce from a locally owned farm. So
And when
that's
will
what.
your farm be ready? Your
Who,
farm
mine?
be ready.
I
Yeah.
actually have a farm on St. Croix. I don't have one here in Georgia. But the ones that I am uh in business with, I have spot space on their land. So my hand goes into all of the growing on all the farms that I'm dealing with. So my
Exactly.
energy is there. I already have me and my kids, we have our own lots. We produce for our own home because you can share crop as a farmer. Um Historically, of course, that's a whole nother story, but sharecropping was not a thing that we like as African American people, but if we're sharecropping with our own people, then it's okay. Completely different situation.
Mhm.
But those are different situations and scenarios that people come to. So they may not have the money to start a farm or they may not have a farm, but they can pay a monthly rent to the farmer and get a part of their lot of the land, and now that's theirs, and they can turn whatever seed and produce that they want for their family there. So
And for
that's what those are
stores.
for. Huh?
And for stores.
Yep, and for stores. And then also trying to think, what else am I missing? Oh, and for the gardening. So outside of that, we do the gardening. So we teach people how to create either raised bed gardens in their home, container gardens, hydroponic gardening. We show them how to do all of those things. So we take you from seedlings to actual produce, and then how to rotate, how to rotate crops. So that's
Okay.
what you would learn in those types of situations. And then everything else that stems from there, from creation of products. We do grow herbs on each of these farms that I deal with. So how to identify the herbs, how to use the herbs, both in your food and in your products, whether it's cleaning products or body products. Um, yeah, those types of things. How to save your seeds. Um, Canning and preserving, or not even canning, it'll be in the mason jars. So
Mhm.
jarring and preserving, those types of things that people need to know.
Okay, okay. Well, y'all, she has given y'all a little bit about what's going on
Yep.
in her world. Now, at the end of the show, she's gonna let you guys know where she's going to drop her peaches, baby. She's gonna drop them
Yes.
peaches. And for those that don't know what that means, that's new tonight. Hey, my newbies. Drop my peaches mean let us know how you
Yeah.
can, how they can reach you. I'm sure everybody gonna be trying to get some products or figure out how to do it on their own, right?
Yes, of course. You said,
Okay.
how do we get them excited about eating right? Showing them, by showing them. You can't get them excited. You just have to show them how to change out what they're already eating. So, hey, fresh green beans taste so much better than these canned green beans. Let me show you how. And it's really
Okay.
just the lost knowledge of knowing that what's already pre-seasoned in the can, that's not good for you. But I can show you how to make it taste even better over here.
And
Just
it'll be
showing them.
healthier.
Hmm.
Healthier for you.
Exactly.
All right. Well, y'all, we finna go ahead and get started because we do have quite a bit to show y'all tonight. So we're gonna get started tonight with the teens. The two teens that murdered their baby, their 5-month-old boy. Shakayla Sams and Dante Ferrier. And here we go.
Well, we are leading the way on more breaking news. 2 teenagers are being charged with murdering an infant.
Cincinnati police say Wednesday morning they found an unresponsive baby boy on Sunny Hill Drive. Today, the child died at Cincinnati Children's Hospital. Shakayla Sams and Dante Ferrier, who are both 19 years old, have been charged with the child's death. Police say Sams was the baby's mother. The cause of death has not been released.
All right, y'all, we're finna go into another clip, and then we'll be back with our commentary on this, because the missus wasn't too happy about this. So here we go.
New information tonight about the 2 19-year-olds charged with murder for the death of a 5-month-old boy.
Local 12's David Winter is where those teenagers are being held right now. David.
Kyle, they are here at the Hamilton County Justice Center. They've been here since last Wednesday, but they weren't brought before a judge to be charged with murder until this morning.
The bailiff calling Shakayla Sams before the judge this morning, arraigning her for the murder of her 5-month-old baby. The bailiff also calling the baby's father, Dante Ferrier. We got a copy of his rap sheet, and it is impressive. Dating back to 2017, Ferrier has been in and out of the system since he was 14 years old, charged with theft, assault, harassment, menacing, breaking and entering. The list goes on and on. Sams has no juvenile record, at least not in Hamilton County. This is where Ferrier lived with Sams and their son in an apartment in the Villages at Roll Hill. We spoke to a neighbor.
To hear that baby die yesterday, I was up all night upset. Like, I can't believe 3 doors down. I'm like, damn it, I should have did something.
Shirley Johnson Gilliam says she feels guilty. She had heard the baby in the past.
And I would hear that baby screaming, but I'm like, I hope it's just maybe hungry or something, or want to be held.
But it was apparently more than that. Court documents show the investigating detective determined after speaking with medical personnel, the injuries to the baby occurred over the past several months. Police last Wednesday were called to the apartment for an unresponsive child. Paramedics tried to revive the baby on their way to Children's Hospital. Ferrier and Sams were taken into custody and charged with child endangering. But then the coroner's report shows Casey Sams died yesterday, so mom and dad were charged with murder. Their neighbor told us she heard the couple fighting sometimes, but minded her own business. Now she says she wishes she had paid better attention.
That baby ain't had nobody fighting for him. And I heard that baby screaming.
So now Ferrier and Sams wait to hear whether the prosecutor brings their case before a grand jury and whether the grand jury then indicts them for murder. We're expected to hear that on January 3rd. Reporting live from the Justice Center, David Winter, back to you in the studio.
All right, David, thank you. Sams and Ferrier are both being held tonight on $200,000 bond.
Now, that was scary, and I don't know what to really say. I mean, it was unbelievable to me. Both of them just didn't have no sense. It wasn't even just one of them that probably said, okay, no, we ain't finna do this. Both of them was okay with this. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And they had a 2-year-old too that done got hurt by them. Well, how did you feel about this?
Only because I deal with so many different types of people. It is a sad situation, but it's sad because a child or children, because you said they had a 2-year-old, had to deal with whatever it is that those parents hadn't even started growing out of. The only reason why they could think that that was okay is because that's something that they've experienced in some capacity or to some
Exactly.
capacity in their childhood, or they've seen somebody handle their child in that way because they're still kids. Even though he's been in the streets doing what he's doing since he was 14, he didn't have no guidance. I don't
Exactly.
know what kind of guidance that she has. And just like how Carolyn said they could have given that baby away. When I lived in Augusta, Georgia, I had a white lady try to give me her child before the child was even born because she knew she just could not physically take care of it. But to be honest with you, that was a white lady. I don't think our black people know. You know what I mean? Like we don't tend to go outside and try to get help from somebody outside of a family unit. We don't even try to leave babies anywhere. We try to keep it and figure it out. So I don't even
Figure it
think they
out.
even knew that they can go outside and go give it to somebody because again, I was going to work that day, and I used to work at K Jewelers in Augusta, in the Augusta Mall, and I was getting gas that morning. And she came to me and she said, "You seem like a person that has their head on their shoulders, and I know that this baby will be okay." And I'm like, "What baby? Where? What are you talking about?" And then she was like, and this was my neighbor from that. It's not like I didn't know her. I didn't know her, but I knew of her because she lived in the downstairs apartment from me. But this woman had been watching me, and that was her judgment. And I'm like, well, I guess I'm gonna have a baby. Like, who? I'm not just gonna just leave a child out here. Like, who does that?
Exactly.
And they kept the baby. And I actually check up on that baby because for a person to be in that state of mind as a woman, for a woman to be in that state of mind, no matter the race, something had to be going on. So even to this day, I still check on her and say, hey, how are you guys doing? How's the baby? Baby's older now. She's 6. Beautiful little
Oh,
girl.
wow.
But I'm just like,
Wow.
but they're doing much better. Whatever it is that they were going through, they're fine. But I'm just like, yeah, maybe they didn't know that they could give it away. And maybe they didn't know what that process would look like, Because
Mhm.
again, they probably watched that their whole entire life thinking that
Yep.
that's normal.
Yep, thinking it's normal. And it's a lot of people that grew up like that.
Mhm.
And they don't see anything wrong with it at all.
You
Until
have
they go
people that
through it.
beat babies, like infants. You have people that
Yes.
spank infants.
Yep.
Yeah. You have people
Well,
that
let's
spank
get into this next clip. We're still talking about the teen parents, Shakayla and Dante. So here we go.
Learning new details about how 5-month-old Casey Sams died. His parents were indicted today. WCPO 9 News reporter Courtney Francisco has been learning more about the infant's short life. She joins us live right now, just outside the Hamilton County Prosecutor's Office. Courtney?
That's right. Prosecutor Joe Dieters just announced today that not only did Shakayla Sams and Dante Ferrier kill their 5-month-old baby, but they were also abusing their 2-year-old child. We are not releasing the name of the surviving child or pictures of the children due to privacy concerns, but we want you to know the details we are about to talk about may be disturbing to some people.
Both parents, Shakayla Sams and Dante Ferrier, face life in prison if convicted of this abuse. Both 19 years old, with a 5-month-old and a 2-year-old. Today, prosecutor Joe Dieters wrote, "The cruelty displayed upon these 2 young children is impossible to comprehend. Being a young parent is no excuse for the kind of abuse these children suffered." December 22nd, police showed up at the family's Villages of Roll Hill apartment. Court documents say the mother told officers Ferrier was punching her in the face and pulling out her hair. We told you then officers found their 5-month-old unresponsive. Today, Dieters revealed that baby had a dislocated neck, a brain bleed, swollen brain, broken ribs. And for the first time, he revealed a 2-year-old was also involved, malnourished with a lacerated pancreas. The grand jury indictment says the children were recklessly tortured. Dieters wrote, quote, "This was a case of active violence perpetrated on babies by 2 people, the same people who should be protecting them." 5 days later, the 5-month-old died. The 2-year-old is still in the ICU 12 days later. JFS told me last week 8 children died in 2021 due to confirmed abuse. It's still working to substantiate 6 other cases. That could bring the total to 14 children killed due to abuse. And 5 of those cases were open at the time of death.
And I am still working to find out if anything could have been done to change the outcome in those cases and in the case of this 5-month-old Casey Sams. JFS is not releasing prior history because they say that is confidential information. I have taken this information to Governor Mike DeWine, and I will reach out to you as soon as I get that information. Reporting live in Cincinnati, Courtney Francisco.
Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, so this happened in Ohio. Yeah, damn shame, Audrey. Damn shame. You know, let me see. Erica said, "Hey, cuz." Erica said, "No, we don't, because we as black don't want anyone to look at them funny. I don't know what you're trying to say.
We as black people, we were taught that we need to figure it out.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. As black people, we was taught that we have to figure it out ourselves." And
I
she
had a
right.
classmate named Erica Owens, but I don't think she spelled it with a K. That's funny. And she had an older sister named Madonna.
No, she don't have no older sister named Madonna. But
Oh, man.
do we look at these teens, even though they was grown, but they still teens? Do we look at them and say they need the book thrown at them? They need death, the death penalty? Or do we look at them as in they just need the right somebody to come and help them mentally? They have mental issues. Something got to be wrong for you to do a 5-month-old baby like this.
Girl.
And your 2-year-old.
I've been to some different sides of the hood because all hoods are not created equally. I've been to some different sides of the hood, and even in the different sides of the hood, I have noticed that survival is different. It has nothing to do with the crabs in the barrel mentality. It's just, you ever seen a person that looks like they are like they're living on their last leg? Like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, you can see the death in their stare. That's the best way I can explain it. And everything is on an expedited moment for these people. I don't even have to be interjected in their life to kind of sort of know what type of environment that those two had, because in order for them to even lay down and make that type of situation, they had to trust each other more than they trusted their own family. They had to have been providing their version of what love felt like that they never ever had from their own parental units. You know what I mean? And then they went and had not one but 2 children, and they did it to both of them, which means that they have experienced whatever. They may not even realize that it's trauma. There are people who are living in traumatic experiences and don't realize that it's a traumatic experience, because when you go outside, all my neighbors are doing it. When I talk to my friends, that's normal. You know what I mean? When I go to school, it's the same situation for every 3 to 5 people that I talk to. So for them, that may have been normal. They just may not know any better at all. They may not know how to resolve conflict. They may not know how to not take their stress out on people, which it always turns out onto children if you've taken it out on a significant other, and if that significant other is not there, you tend to take it out on your children. They may not know the proper way to go through certain stages and scenarios in life, and yes, they're 18, but they don't know everything there is to know about life. They don't even have
I
the
agree.
wisdom of life. And
I agree.
a lot of people get put out of the house before 18. Some people choose to leave, but sometimes those choices are made because the environment is piss poor and they're trying to hustle to get out of it. You know what I mean? They adopt the whole I'm about to get it out the mud. And it's like you got a lot to get out of the mud. You got to get your mental state out the mud. You got to get confidence out the mud.
Yep.
You got to fix your ego out of the mud. There's a lot of things that they could be dealing with. Now, one thing that I will say about the system, even though they're going to try to maybe throw the book at them, they're first going to try to assess their mental state, because what they did was it's not as bad as it can get, but it was bad. So they're going to have to assess where are they at mentally before they can actually sentence them with something that's comparable to what it is that they did. Once they figure out, were they competent? Like, were you conscious to what you were doing? Like, did you do this on purpose? Because it's very different when you do something on purpose and you just didn't know. So
Exactly.
once they figure out if they did it on purpose or if they just did not have the education on how to be a human being, like they could be that 19-year-old could still be operating as a 14-year-old who was just let out in the streets like a feral dog. What was he growing from? All he knows is I've been out in these streets since I was 14. And then I have no idea what she dealt with. You know what I mean? So all of that'll come out in their mental assessment. They normally put them on a psychiatrist, get them to go through the evaluation and see where they're at. And based on their answers, they'll be able to give the court a better answer on what's best for them. I hope they don't give the boy maximum sentence and then take the girl and just, only give her the mental institute, because he probably could get some help from the mental institute, because jail is not the answer for everybody.
Exactly.
Jail is
Exactly. And they
definitely
quick to
not
throw
the
them
answer.
all in there.
Yep. Yep.
They are quick to. So
Yep.
this is the last clip, y'all. I want y'all to pay attention to this clip and listen to what this lady is saying. And here we go.
Cases in Hamilton County. So let's bring in reporter Courtney Francisco, who's joining us in the studio here. Courtney, you've been working on this story all week. So what did you just get today?
Well, I just received this letter from Hamilton County Jobs and Family Services responding to 2 of my questions. How many children have died due to abuse in the county this year? And out of those, how many did caseworkers know about before their deaths? The goal is to find out if any lives could have been saved. JFS responded saying 8 children died this year due to substantiated abuse. JFS is still investigating 6 other child deaths to confirm if they were connected to abuse. That could bring the total to 14 children killed in our county due to abuse. 5 of the 14 were open cases, meaning caseworkers knew about them before the child died. I asked JFS for this information Tuesday. That's the day I reported to you that prosecutors added a murder charge against 2 teen parents, Shakayla Sams and Dante Ferrier, Tuesday after their 5-month-old Casey died in the hospital. Detectives say medical personnel discovered injuries on the child that occurred over the past several months. In regards to the information we received today, I have reached out to JFS to ask the names of the children killed, to find out what could have been done in each of those cases to remove the children from harm's way before it was too late. I have also sent this information to the governor of Ohio to ask his response. Evan.
She on it. She on it. She trying to figure this shit out to try to see what the hell going on up in this joint.
Exactly.
That's sad.
Mm-hmm.
14 kids.
Mm-hmm.
And what they mean by that, y'all, is 14 kids, it could have been prevented.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it all boils down to. Because they was aware of it. Being that they was aware, they could have prevented, took them kids out their home, and found a new home for them. But instead, they left them there. And I be wanting to say that they failed them, but at the same time, to me, it always resorts back to the parents.
It
The
does.
parents failed them.
Mm-hmm.
They the one that birthed them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Erica says, the missus, you did a story when the whole family was in prison. You remember that? Yes, I do. I do remember that. The young man, his whole family went to prison.
Mm-hmm.
And when they asked him, he said he could name more people that been in prison than that has never been. And I think it was only one person that had never been. Even the grandma.
Yep.
The grandma who raised him, because the mama was locked up, the grandma had even been in prison.
Mm-hmm.
But Erica said the question was asked to one of the young people, why are you in jail? He said, my mother, see, grandma, daddy is all here. He said, why wouldn't I be here?
And that goes back to the two that are considered, they're not
I
minors.
saw that. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Erica, I saw that. Oh my gosh. Gabrielle Fernandez story. That is on Netflix, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
When I tell y'all have to see it, it is such a good, it's a series.
Mm-hmm.
It is a series. And it's very, very good. But what you were saying, Madonna?
Oh no, I was saying that even goes back to the two 19-year-olds. That was that was that boy's perspective. He said, all my people were in jail, so why wouldn't I be in here? Your kids look up to you. You are the first people that your children are introduced to, and if you're lucky enough to have left them when they were a week old with somebody that you trusted, then that person is the first person that they are introduced to. You know what I mean? So everything you do, like even when you're dealing with repeating your own parents' history, it's what you see and what you don't see that you repeat. That's what people, I think, they miss when they're trying to fix, trying not to be like their parents or trying not to be like the people that are around them, and they're trying to be that better version. You have to fight a lot of things when you're coming up out of certain situations and scenarios. So I would have loved to have talked to that the boy that you guys talked about last time, because I'd have been like, so you didn't think that you probably could have been the light bearer, the person who made a change? You could have been an example. But then also on the other hand, who was empowering him to be an example? Because he goes from the house to the school for 6 hours a day. When teachers used to be good, there were teachers who would go outside of themselves just to uplift and empower a person that they saw going down that road. We no longer have those types of communities. So now it's a free-for-all for whatever these kids come out of.
Exactly. I'm going to show y'all the trailer right quick of Gabrielle Fernandez's story. Like I said, it is on Netflix. You all go and check it out. Thanks, Erica, for that. So here's the trailer.
This case is going to be very emotional. So at any point you find yourself getting a little overwhelmed, please step out of the courtroom, compose yourself, and then come back inside.
This was the case that just has followed me from that night.
It's still hard to believe two people did all those horrible things to him.
Gabriel Fernandez was, at the time of his death, 8 years old.
That was my friend, and it really caught me because it was his parent who took his life.
He is a very good kid, very playful, loving.
These two people murdered this child. How did this come to be?
How did a child who had so many signs of repeated and long-term abuse slip through the cracks?
It really wasn't until I got all of the evidence that I realized how egregious the case was.
This was a story that could not be ignored.
The question was, could we uncover what was really going on?
The Department of Children and Family Services has significant involvement in this case.
Board of Supervisors have now taken notice. There's something about this kid's death.
There was no medical follow-up, even to the injuries that were acknowledged by the department.
You're thinking about in your head, how could this be true?
As prosecutors, we need to up our game.
She didn't just prosecute the mother and her boyfriend. She also took the step of prosecuting the 4 social workers.
They had a job, and their job was to save a little boy.
The system is overtaxed. The most children I had was about 280. I did not commit a crime.
When the details came out of how this poor child was tortured and all of these people knew, I think it shook the county to the core.
Bureaucracies tend to function to preserve the institution at all costs.
The system has this enormous power. There are those who think that by not talking, you can limit the bad publicity.
I believe the ultimate evil is seeing what's wrong and looking away when you have a power to make the difference. That is true evil.
That was so messed up, y'all. That was so messed up. I'm sorry I hit it again. But yes, that was a series, documentary, whatever you want to call it. Very emotional. Very, very emotional. And they basically, she charged everybody except for the teacher.
I don't blame the judge because I'm going to share something with you and your people. So I've had to deal with DSS, both with after meeting my mom, so DSS here in Georgia, and then I also had to deal with them in South Carolina with my own 2 children. 2 different situations, 2 different scenarios. My mother was wrong. I was not wrong. But the DSS agents in Georgia, when I say, because I went to North Springs High School, so anybody who knows that high school, that's the high school that I went to. And they keep records. After 10 years, they take all of the records that includes the child psychologists that they normally keep staffed at the school. They take their records and they move them down to the superintendent's office for Fulton County and for whatever county your kids go to. When I say that they have a file folder, probably about this thick, with pictures and reports and things like that, from my black eye to broken bones to bruises, like the people, because teachers are mandated reporters, so are healthcare professionals, your psychologists and the people that are staffed at the school. The DSS workers are like 3 times the amount of a mandated reporter. Like if a DSS agent is involved and they see that it's a problem, their accountability scale and meter, like they can go to jail for a long time for just turning a blind eye. And I had to learn all these things very early as a kid. So I had DSS agents, like it got to the point where me as a child, I had to tell them there's no point in you coming here. Why? You guys are going to sit down and you're going to interview us in front of my mom, which I know that you're not supposed to do, in the same room. And then you guys are going to drink whatever it is that she gives you to drink, and then you're going to leave. Like the last DSS agent I had in Georgia was a pregnant woman who really didn't want to do her job. I think it was like March or April when they came to the house, and it was 2 other people with her. DSS or CPS, they have a very high turnover rate. Every time you meet a new agent or an agent that's coming in to do work with a family, they've only been there for about 8 months, 9 months, and then they get recycled to another situation or place within the DSS system. So they don't even stay on cases long. The caseworkers don't stay as caseworkers long. When I dealt with when we were dealing with DSS with my mom, we went through like 9 DSS agents in a 6-week time frame. That's how high turnover they are.
Wow.
So you already don't even have the same worker working on your case. You're always having to re-explain yourself, re-explain the details. Even though they have the files, you're still having to re-explain. And then based on that person, whether they want to do their job or not. Now, these days, DSS agents are from the age of 30, 33 and down. You might find some older ones. I'm serious. The ones that are out in the field, that's how old they are. They're like from the age of 33 and down. So from, I don't know, 22, 23 to 33, that's the ones that are in the field. Half of them don't have kids. So how they going to help a kid?
Exactly.
How they going to help a kid?
Girl, they just trying to get their check. They trying to get their money so they can head to the club.
Literally. That's literally the energy that they perpetuate. And then they'll put you on classes, right? once you're in the system for classes, so long as that person makes their dues, they show up for the interviews and they've done their job. They don't do anything past that. They'll set up a family
Wow.
kinship caregiver because it costs them more money to put a child in the system than it does to place a child with a family member that can possibly care for it. So that's why they have
Okay.
a family kinship caregiver agreement.
Wow.
But that's probably how that boy with the documentary, that's probably how he slipped through the cracks, because I saw all of the documents that they had on their file, and I'm like, I'm glad that the judge tried and charged those people, because even if the mother did parenting classes, she's paying upwards of $1,000 just to go sit in their class. And so long as she can afford to pay that and she completes the class within the parameters of how the class is created, she can get her kid back. There's some people in there right now who beat their children and dislocate shoulders, and the child is replaced back in the home, and then they have like heavily monitored visits and stuff like that from DSS. So there's a lot of different scenarios where those kids end up back in the same situation.
Yep. Well, they better get it together. That's all I got to say. They better get it together, baby. So we finna go ahead and we finna get into our commercial. Then we're going into our next story, y'all. Okay. We have our next story. Happy MLK, everybody.
Yes.
Happy MLK. And please, please, please share this video right now. Like this video right now. Please do so. And coming up is Derricka Patrick, which was pregnant and her life was taken away. And baby, when I tell you this touched, I know this touched your heart too when I sent this to you.
Some of these I couldn't
was
watch.
something.
I was just like, I'll watch in real time because I saw the title and I started watching. I said, that's gonna mess up my whole day. Let me just-
Girl, when I tell you, I've been on it all day.
Yes.
All day. And this is just what I do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so happy that I'm built for it. Because if I wasn't built for it, oh my gosh, it would have me just completely, like you said, completely down all day long.
Yeah, I was like, it's gonna mess up my day. I'm gonna be out here talking about some, you guys don't deserve kids.
Exactly. That's what some people gonna say.
Yep.
But here we go, y'all.
Oh, my baby. Y'all took my baby from me. God gave us to me for 29 years, and you just ended my baby's life like that. That's not right. Who do you to take somebody's life? You not God. Why would you take my baby's life? It hurts so bad. I want my baby back.
Well, this is just a tragic story all the way around. Derricka Patrick is a Chicago hairstylist, very popular in the Chicago community. She was ambushed, shot multiple times while sitting in her car last night. Her mother told me she was 3 months pregnant and she leaves behind a 9-year-old little girl.
My baby didn't deserve this. She didn't deserve it. She didn't do nothing to nobody. For somebody to come and snuff her out, how take her life like that, that's just real. I'm just upset about it. I don't appreciate it.
Now, this is what we know unfolded. The mom-to-be returned to her home at around 7 Wednesday night in the 7400 block of South Vincennes Avenue. She was in the car with her 15-year-old niece. The 15-year-old went inside Patrick's home to get a cake, and that's when she heard gunfire and discovered her aunt slumped over in the car. Chicago police say they have video surveillance showing a car pulling up next to Patrick's. 2 males get out and start shooting into her car. That video has not been released to the public yet, but police are asking for the public's help.
Anybody could help out and give us some information, because we have some video evidence that supports that 2 individuals did this, but we need them, we need them identified. We haven't pushed out any videos yet of those suspects, but we definitely need some help from the community.
And if you know anything that can help police crack this case, you can submit an anonymous tip by going to cpdtip.com. Live in downtown, Tia Ewing, Fox 32.
The whole family was just robbed. from a young, beautiful soul. They don't know what they do when you're out here killing our children. We gave birth to our children and don't be expected for them to be taken away in a manner that they have. Her mother is hurting that she can't speak. I'm hurting, but I hurt for her, her family, my family, her baby. She has a 9-year-old daughter that these people didn't even think about. She has an unborn child that never even made it into this world. The cause and effect is more so of a domino effect. When you do something like this, it doesn't just take out that person. This wasn't meant for her. It doesn't just hurt the family. We're hurting. She has friends that's hurting. All the violence needs to stop. Gun violence, y'all need to stop. Stop. Thank you.
All right, y'all. I know y'all heard that. That was a few clips. I wanted to go ahead and play them because I have a few more on this story. This one right here was a little different. It hit different. This one did. I was shook. This was clearly not for her. I researched this story. When I tell y'all I researched this story all day today. And when I research. This girl was loved. This girl was loved. This girl did hair. She wasn't just nobody in the kitchen, at home, downstairs in the bed. No, she was a well-known beautician in Chicago. These folks had a party. Stopped the whole party, did a whole little toast for this girl. I mean, this girl was loved by so many. And she was on her way to her cousin's birthday party. And she stopped back at home. The cake was at her house. So apparently, this is just my theory. Like I said, everything is allegedly. You know, explicit language, allegedly. But this is my theory. If she's so well known, the way I'm assuming she was, they probably thought she was at this birthday party already. It's 7 o'clock at night. It's nighttime. And whoever they thought was in that car, that's who they was trying to get. I just don't think that they thought it was her and her baby that she was pregnant with.
Right.
When they get caught, they are going down. They still have not been caught. This just happened.
That's crazy. That's craziness.
What you got to say about this?
To be quite honest, yeah, I'd have to wait and see how it unfolds because they didn't talk about a boyfriend or the child's father or anything like that. So I don't know who they would have thought was in the car. What kind of car was she driving? You know what I mean? Like none of those really are important because the bottom line is they took somebody out of a family unit and they had a baby within them. So she was creating life. But I honestly wouldn't even know where to stem from that one because or even in that line of things because I don't have enough information for me to be like,
exactly.
What? You know?
Exactly.
So
and it's a good thing from the information that we do know. It is a good thing that the 15-year-old niece got out the car.
Exactly.
It could have been her. It could have been both of them.
Yep.
You know, all three of them rather.
Yep.
This is crazy.
And then the poor 15-year-old is probably like triggered at this point because she had to walk back outside to that.
She walked when she heard the gunshots. She walked back outside and saw her auntie limped over in the car. She gonna have to live with this for the rest of her life. That's why people don't understand. When you do shit like this, it ain't just affecting that one person that's gone, that you'll never even see their reaction to what you have done to them. besides them hunting you in your damn dreams.
Mm-hmm.
But you're affecting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Let me go ahead and get into this next clip.
Saw something, say something, and turn yourself in. You took a beautiful young lady out this world. You took her from her family.
A plea for justice today from the family of a pregnant woman who was shot and killed this week in Chicago. There is now a $15,000 reward for information about Derricka Patrick's murder.
Stephanie Wade live right now with that plea from her family. Stephanie?
Good evening. It was a massive turnout today. The community coming together and releasing balloons in honor of 29-year-old Derricka Patrick, who was shot and killed Wednesday evening on Chicago's South Side, just sitting in her car outside of her home.
It hurts so bad. I want my baby back.
A tearful plea tonight from Derricka Patrick's mother to find who killed her daughter.
You took a beautiful young lady out this world. You took her from her family. I can't get my baby back. I want my baby. Y'all took my baby from me. God gave it to me for 29 years. And you just ended my baby's life like that. That's not right.
A vibrant young woman her godmother describes and beloved hairstylist on Chicago's South Side, Patrick was 4 months pregnant with her second child when police say two gunmen got out of their car Wednesday evening and opened fire in the 7400 block of South Vincennes Avenue.
Her mother is hurting that she can't speak. I'm hurting, but I hurt for her, her family, my family, her baby. She has a 9-year-old daughter.
Community activist Early Walker joining Patrick's family today in their combined quest to find who killed the pregnant mom. Walker helping pay for Patrick's funeral expenses.
This mom deserves answers. This family deserves answers. This community deserves answers. You literally took a mom, a daughter away.
Now, there is still no one in custody tonight for Patrick's murder. If you have any information, you're asked to call police. You can, of course, remain anonymous, and there is a $15,000 reward for any information that can lead to an arrest.
Now, I'm going to say this, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about this. This is why y'all got to watch Peachy Tea Time on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and sometimes on Saturdays at the radio station if I ain't got no guests. But this is why. Because it's a must that we see this type of shit. We need to know what we need to continue to instill in our kids to let them know, baby, this ain't the way to go. Not saying her, could be her, but them boys that ran to the car and shot her, them, if it's them down from her boyfriend or baby daddy, him, regardless, this is not the first time that we have seen something like this. This goes on all the time, y'all. All the time. We have social media now. We got camera phones. They got body cams. And they have the internet, where it all comes to the internet. So now we can see everything that goes on. And I'm going to keep bringing it to you. This upsets me. This should not have happened. A lot of the shit that I show should not have happened. But this is just sad. And she just turned 29 in December. Y'all, she was so excited about this baby. Her daughter was 9 years old. And she get pregnant again. And she praying that she having a boy. Baby J. That was the name, Baby J, for right now. This girl was excited to be a second mom. And baby, when I tell you she stay fly, oh, Madonna, baby,
Mm-hmm.
She stayed fly. She stayed taking pictures.
Right.
Hair always done. Always had nice clothes on. From the pictures that I saw, from the way that her friends talk about her family talk about her. Oh my gosh. And it seemed like she was like a breath of fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
Someone that you would love to be around.
Right.
I said, this wasn't for her. But people just, I don't know. They out there, they doing whatever they want to do to cause sadness, to cause harm, to cause everything. Everything you can think of. This is her sister. Here we go, y'all.
I'll never be okay. They took my sister from me.
Derricka Patrick's family is inseparable. The youngest of 5 girls with just one little brother, the 5 living siblings are realizing somehow they're going to have to live without Derricka.
I just want my sister back.
Wednesday night, the 29-year-old mother, 4 months pregnant with her second child, was in her car in front of her house at 74th and Vincennes on the city's south side. Her cousin Devontae says she was supposed to be headed to his birthday celebration.
She was all the way to me, but she never made it.
Police say 2 offenders walked up and at least one of them fired several shots into the car. Outside the University of Chicago Medical Center, Patrick's family crowded around the emergency room, only to learn the young pregnant mother didn't survive.
My heart is shattered in a million pieces.
Her siblings say Derricka Patrick couldn't wait to be a mom to 2 children.
She was happy because her daughter 9, so she wanted a boy. She said her baby was her baby Jay.
Now they'll all take her 9-year-old daughter in as their own. Investigators say while there is some video evidence of Patrick's shootings, no one has been arrested, and they're asking anyone who may have been a possible witness to come forward to police.
Madonna, before we get into the last clip on this, why do you think they have not released the tape? Now, let me tell you why I think it first. Oh, you on mute. The reason why I think it is because they can't visualize the person. The people.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's
that'd probably be the only reason it's not clear enough for them to even release a sketch, and they would have to confirm what they see. Now, if it's a clear video, of course they can put it out there, but if it's not a clear video, then they have to canvass the area, ask questions to whoever in the streets, and then go from there. It normally takes a couple of days for stuff like that to come out in the streets, as far as like people talking, people acting funny, acting weird. So they just have to sit and wait for a second.
Because we know they're gonna tell.
Huh?
Somebody's gonna tell.
It depends. And then your cousin was like, no one won't, not in Chicago. And
Like,
then you
how
also
did
have
say
that. You also have
no
that,
one will, not in Chicago.
yeah, you have that. You also have that factor too. If the streets are not going to talk, then hey, now they have to go through her acquaintances. Because I'm even looking at that's why I kept looking. I'm like, oh, that's her car. So she had a newer year Jeep Cherokee. It's a nice vehicle. They're very nice SUVs or whatever. For all you know, I didn't look at her social media. People, they go based off of what they see. To her family, she was a family member and a sister and a friend and someone that they love dearly. But to somebody looking at you on social media, depending on what they think they see, she may have had a bunch of money. She may have had a whole lot of things going on that they wanted to take from her. So
yeah, I went on her social media page, on her Facebook page. I saw her Facebook page. She didn't look like she lacked for anything.
Right. So just based off of your assumptions that anybody could make, they probably was like, well, I'm gonna take everything from her.
And I was telling my husband that. I said, I remember back in the day, all the hairstylists, and I'm from Michigan, all the hairstylists was sharp. They had their hair done. You weren't gonna catch them, especially not on no Saturday with no high heels on, just fly. You know what I'm saying? So that wasn't a surprise to me at all.
Right.
But nowadays, being flashy, ain't the way to go sometimes on social media.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But let's get into this next one. But you shouldn't even though we know that should not, take somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? Because they
I
being
know what
fat.
you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. You shouldn't lose your life for that reason. That's what I'm trying to say. You shouldn't lose your life for that reason. But being that this is how the world we living in now, we need to protect everything that we got. Don't flash nothing. Let them think you just as poor can get.
Yep. Yes. And let them make their own assumptions. Like, okay, that's what you believe. Sure. You keep doing that.
Exactly. So here go the last clip on it, y'all.
Don't think for one moment that we're going to let you get away with this. We are going to pursue you and bring you to justice.
Superintendent David Brown once again vowing to crack down on crime as two 14-year-old boys and a pregnant woman become the latest victims of deadly gun violence in Chicago. Search is on for two men who shot and killed a pregnant woman sitting inside of a parked car on the south side.
Police say they have video of that attack, and WGN's Patrick Elwood live on the south side with more details tonight. Patrick.
Good evening to you both. Police are not releasing that video at this time. More on that in a moment. But a 29-year-old woman is dead. She was pregnant at the time. This happened about 7 o'clock last night. There is a $15,000 reward being offered in connection to this case. But at this point, police don't even know the motive. Derricka Patrick was shot dead as she sat in a parked car at 74th and Vincennes. The 29-year-old hairstylist was a fun-loving person who always had a smile on her face, according to her mother, Christine Blanton, who tells the Tribune. Shot spotter technology alerted police to gunshots in that area, and they say video footage shows two men approaching her car.
Looking back through some video, we observe a vehicle pull up. Two males exit the car, walk up to the victim's vehicle, draw handguns, and fire into the vehicle, striking her.
Patrick was the mother of a 9-year-old girl and was pregnant at the time of her death. Police are asking for help from the community, but they are not releasing that video at this time.
We need them identified. We haven't pushed out any videos yet of those suspects, but we definitely need some help from the community.
So again, no video being released by police tonight, but that may change tomorrow. Anonymous tips, they say, are always welcome. Reporting from 78th and Halsted at the police station here, Patrick Elwood, WGN News. Micah and Ray, back to
you. Well. I want y'all to know I have seen her baby daddy, boyfriend, the one she's pregnant by. I've seen a picture of him. I did not present it to the show because they did not say anything about him as far as if they felt he had anything to do with it. Like you was talking about, Madonna, in the beginning, that you would need more information. So I did not post his picture on this video at all whatsoever. I didn't think it was necessary for me to do that, but I did see him. And to each his own. That's all I'm gonna say behind that. To each his own. But back to Derricka, to her family, my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to each and every one of y'all, because you could tell that not just Derricka was excited, but her family was excited for her with this second pregnancy. Her best friend was excited, all of that, and for them to have to actually hear about this. I know it was like mind blowing, because she seemed like she was just a regular chick from the hood, and not even from the hood, but just your regular chick that you all grew up with. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And to find out something like this happened to her was just mind blowing. So we're gonna get into this last clip, y'all, and then we'll be done for the night.
Yeah.
And this was something that I think is actually two, but this was something that I think that is an issue out in our world now. Can we change it? I don't think so. But until the laws and bylaws get changed, things like this is going to continue to happen. So y'all want to know what it is? Here we go.
Mobile County murder suspect out on bond allegedly killed his girlfriend this morning. WKRG News 5's Tiffany Gray is here with us in the studio. Tiffany, only months ago, the suspect was charged with killing a man in Pritchard.
Yes, Chair's 22-year-old Devon Bray was arrested this morning and is being charged with murder. This time, police say he shot and killed his 18-year-old girlfriend, Jairee Portis. Now, according to MPD, the incident happened at an apartment complex on Bellingrath Road near the Highway 90 intersection in Theodore last night. Bray is no stranger to law enforcement. Just last August, he allegedly killed Frederick Lamar James in Pritchard. Bray was released on bond for that murder the next month. Prosecutors have filed a motion to revoke bond for Bray's initial murder case. At this time, Bray is being held in Metro Jail.
And of course, this case brings back the question, why was this guy out of jail when he was put there for murder? It highlights something Alabama lawmakers refer to as a revolving door of crime, Tiffany. So what are they saying about this?
Yes, Alabama lawmakers passed Anaya's law in April, a bill allowing judges to deny bond for suspects of violent crimes. That proposed law will go before voters this November. The Montgomery Court District Attorney is also working to raise bond maximums for suspects of murder. Live in the studio, Tiffany Gray, WKRG News 5.
Why they let him back out? So he go do it again. Why they let him back out, Madonna?
You talking about from the, well, if you didn't have any other offenses. I sound like I spent a lot of time in law, y'all. That's crazy. I realize how much I do spend time in Congress lobbying and in Senate because I know these things. But he probably didn't have any priors. That's normally why they let them out.
But this is murder.
Doesn't matter. You are guilty or not even guilty. Like that's where you see that whole innocent until proven guilty come into play. If you can make bond, then you can get yourself out of jail. If you're a person who doesn't have personal recognizance, that's where you can stand. You can pretty much stand 10 toes down for your own person and say that you're not a flight risk and you're not going to disappear. That's what that is. Then they'll ask you to put up something to secure that bond, whether it's a house or normally it's a house or a business or something like that. But if you're a person that has no priors, you can get out until court. And that's for all crimes. So even if you haven't been tried and convicted in murder, you can be alleged that you have committed a murder or committed a crime. They still got to do an investigation. You don't have to go to jail during that investigation. And that's how all the laws are written. And like I said, Georgia has that same issue. And then if they commit the same type of crime, then they'll hold them without bond or bail. But if they commit a different type of crime while being out on the first bond, they can actually bond out for that second crime because they have no priors in that crime and they haven't been convicted from the first crime.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Law
You know,
is
that's why these folks getting back out harming people.
Mhm.
You know, maybe it's because, and I hate to use the word harm, but killing people.
Yep.
You know, maybe they feel like, okay, they gonna lock me back up anyways.
Yep.
When I do go to trial. So I might as well go on ahead and do whatever I need to do now.
Yep. But what
That's
was his
crazy.
motive? That was his girlfriend. Why? Or I guess you don't necessarily need a motive. You have husbands killing wives every day in America.
Every
so
day.
it's like-
Every day. And
Yes.
it's gonna be no motive at all. They just crazy.
That's crazy.
So here we go. We finna get into this last clip.
The Mobile family looking for answers tonight after a teen was gunned down overnight.
The person police say pulled the trigger has killed before and was out on bond. Fox 2 News' Tyler Finger has been working this story for us all day. He's here in the studio. And Tyler, you talked to the victim's father.
I did, Byron, and he's dealing with a lot of heartache tonight. He's trying to come to terms that his daughter is gone while trying to figure out why her boyfriend had the opportunity to allegedly do this.
These photos are how friends and family of 18-year-old Jairee Portis will always remember her. Pictures and memories are now all they have left. The smiling teenager was killed overnight, police say, at the hands of her boyfriend.
People loved her. Jairee had a lot of energy and she was quirky, but we loved Jairee.
Daryl Portis is her dad. He awoke to the news early this morning that Jairee was shot and killed at the Azalea Court townhomes on Bellingrath Road.
Since I woke up this morning, it hits you. It's just like a violent shaking inside of you.
The person police arrested for the crime is 22-year-old Devon Bray. the same man who Pritchard police arrested back in August for murder.
At
At the time, he was silent as he walked by our camera on the way to Metro Jail. A month after being arrested in that case, he was able to post a $200,000 bond and was released with an ankle monitor.
A truly innocent victim that he murdered last night. She is the tragedy in all of this because her life could have been spared if he had been held in Metro Jail on the original charge.
Alabama lawmakers have been working on bail reform for years to try and stop the catch and release of violent offenders. Last year, the legislature passed a Nias law, which would give judges more ability to deny bond. The constitutional amendment will go before voters in November. Mobile law enforcement and prosecutors say the law might have saved Jaira.
This is an example of, again, why we need a Nias law, because the judge should have had the discretion to hold him with no bond on the first charge to begin with.
Extremely frustrating to have to address the same individual for the same type of offense a second time.
For Jaira's father, he wants the law changed too after losing his daughter.
I really want the next parent to not have to go through this ordeal because it is very traumatic.
Bray is set to have a bond hearing on Monday, where he'll likely be denied bond. Live in the studio tonight.
He just ought to be denied bond. You know, that just don't make no sense. That just don't make no sense.
He doesn't look like an 18-year-old. How old is he?
I don't know how old he was because I was just so upset when I saw that. I was just so upset.
He looks like he's a little bit older. I want to know for myself because it's just like, so she was a fresh graduate, it looks like.
And she graduated with honors.
Yep, and she was 18, and then that man looks kind of older. I gave him no older than 25, 26.
Okay,
so,
I won't get, yeah, me.
you know, so it's like, what are you going through in life? Not even about why are you dealing with the 18-year-old, because a lot of people believe once they're 18, they're legal, but she doesn't even have enough experience mentally to have a conversation with someone that's that much older, much less. What exactly does she do for you?
Exactly.
What exactly do you think?
If he's that older,
right?
If he's that older, you know what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, I do not believe that this young lady could have been that naive. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't get it. Like, this, if you know that he in prison, he getting ready to go back for murder, or maybe he didn't tell her, which that's hard to believe too.
Yeah,
that's hard to believe too. But let's just say he did. Maybe that's why he killed her, because she was like, "No, nigga, I ain't coming back to you. You finna go to prison."
Right. And
he like, "No, you gonna be with me." You know, ain't no telling. But if it's because you just chose to be around, I'm gonna be by your side to the end. No, not at all. Not at all. Well, Madonna, I thank you so much for joining me tonight. We are about to get into our motivation.
Yes.
I do a motivation at the end of every single show. And I do it at the end so that people can go to bed thinking about it and wake up thinking about it. But today is MLK Day, y'all. It is MLK Day. So happy MLK Day to each and every one of you. And of course, I got to do my motivation with MLK, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., baby. Here we go.
All we say to America is be true to what you said on paper. If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And He's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
This is a CBS News special report.
Dan Rather reporting for CBS News from New York. The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. was shot to death by an assassin late today as he stood on a balcony in Memphis, Tennessee. Dr. King had planned to lead another civil rights march in Memphis next Monday. We got the latest on the story now from Russ Hodge, news director of WREC-TV.
All right. Y'all know we had to end it with some MLK, baby. We had to. It's only right. It's only right.
Yes.
Now, Madonna, again, I thank you so much for joining me
I
tonight.
appreciate you. Not a
I hope
problem.
you had a good time.
I did enjoy it. I enjoyed the conversation.
Great. And you're always welcome to come back at any time. Just like I tell everybody else, anytime you're having a bad day, a good day, you just want to laugh, kick it, whatever. Talk about these crimes that's going on. Just let me know.
Of
And
course.
you're always more than welcome to come back. Now,
Okay.
please drop your peaches, baby.
Well, my peach is actually one peach is universal. You guys can find me on all social media platforms. It is at I am Madonna Marie. And then the podcast that I have curated and been doing for the last 5 years, you can find it on all streaming platforms. It is called Hustle and Flow Straight Talk, No Chaser, where I give it to you
All
straight
right.
talk, no chaser. We talk about a lot of different topics. And yeah, I don't give you guys any of the beat around the bush type fluff. I'm gonna give it to you straight. And I'm unregulated, so I could talk about whatever. So yeah, so you guys can find me on all platforms. Straight talk, no chaser. I just have it on YouTube, and then it's in Apple Podcasts, it's in Spotify, it's in what is it called? Stitcher. It's in all of the podcast platforms. It's also on I was about to say Hits 92.3. What's the other one? The other internet radio. I'm sorry. It's on that one.
iHeart.
Yes, iHeartRadio. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's on there too. So you guys can catch the uploads. I tend to stream 3 times a week. And I've been traveling a lot lately, so you guys will get a lot of those travel podcasts and things like that. So what's coming up next for us is we're actually going to be in Washington, D.C. on. So I thought it's ironic that that's the speech that you chose. And I'll tell you why off air, but yeah, I'm gonna be there on January 23rd, which is a Sunday, and it's gonna be myself and Brother Riza Islam and a lot of other people that are influential in the activist realm. We actually
Right.
We do work on behalf of the people. So the things that we talked about in the beginning is actually to help educate and reform our people as a collective. So we're teaching people how to grow food. Yes, we're teaching them how to live off grid or on grid. We're teaching them how to nation build. We're teaching them banking, how to build banks, how to build schools, how to build hospitals, the things that you would need to separate yourself from an oppressive type government. And then we're also fighting for the freedom. So any of these mandates where they're trying to mandate these shots and make people take it without having their freedom of speech to say, no, I don't want to, through informed consent, we are the people that are actually out there fighting to get those rights, because it's not a lot of us out there. It's a lot of the other people out there, but it's more of us now because it takes a lot of teaching and talking and educating and traveling to get more people to come. So
Exactly.
I think it's there's no such thing as coincidence. So I appreciate you even having that speech to give at the end of the show, because I was just like, okay,
Oh,
Martin, come
yes.
through on spirit. You just gave me the
Yes.
christening I needed for Sunday. Thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate you,
go
because we trying to be
MLK,
out there
go
just like Martin.
MLK.
So
Go
yes, I
MLK,
appreciate
go
it.
MLK.
Yes.
Hey.
Yes. That was the right speech. And I was just like, oh wow. And we talk about
Well,
bringing people to the promised land all the time. We have people who we relocated to a car. It's called Arsarsi. It's in Ghana. I'm gonna mess it up. Ghana. And then we have people who are relocating to Nigeria, Senegal, those types of places. So definitely, I am Madonna Marie, you guys. Come check it out, see what we're doing.
girl,
And then you guys
I
can
ain't
see
gonna
what we
say
got
who.
going on.
I ain't gonna say who. I ain't gonna say who was, but girl, somebody messaged me when I put that flyer out, baby. They was like, "Oh my goodness, you got my crush on here." I'm like, "How you know
That's
her?"
funny. Listen, let me say. Sometimes I go outside in other states and they're like, Madonna Marie, and I keep forgetting. I'm like, that's my real name, and I put that out there.
Girl,
But it's
forget
okay.
that.
It's all right.
It's this right here. It's this right here. Girl, I'm telling you, he saw that picture. He ain't
Yeah.
tell me, but he saw that picture, I'm sure. And girl, he was like, "Oh my gosh, I am like so crushing on her."
That is
And
funny.
so, if that person is out there watching today or tonight, I'm so glad that I could have had your crush on PGT Time, Once
Yes.
Upon a Time with the Mrs. Baby.
Yes. Yes. And hello, whoever that is. That's
Yes,
funny.
hello, whoever it is, because you don't know who it is. We don't even know
I
if they
know.
on here tonight.
It's okay.
That's all we gonna say. But if they ain't on here tonight, they gonna come back and watch you, baby. I tell you that much.
Right. They're gonna go check it out.
Exactly.
It's okay.
So y'all, we're gonna end this show with because it is MLK Day, with this young lady singing "We Shall Overcome." After this, we're gonna go ahead and play My Babies, and then I'm gonna chop it up with Madonna a little bit longer before I go to bed.
Yeah.
But Madonna, thank you so much once
thank you.
again. Each and every person that's out there, you can find me on YouTube under Peachy Tea Time. My website is www.peachyteatime.com. Email is peachyteatime@gmail.com. Instagram is peachyteatime. And also, please don't forget to download the app Hits 92.3 ATL, baby. All right, here we go. Oh, I'm also on Spotify too, y'all. I'm on Spotify.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, here we go.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. Oh, deep in my heart, yes, I